I was speaking to Ben Hasdo, I believe
Yeah.
it's pronounced. So we were speaking about the recordings of the Evergreens and his involvement of that, and hopefully there's some sort of behind the scenes coming out. I would love to see some behind the scenes coming out of the recording of this. But I'm curious, even just talking about Evergreen, how you in your creative process, how having cameras in the room, did you find that affected the creative process for you personally or anybody else in the room, or do you think it enhanced it, or it, made people a little uncomfortable? I'm just super curious about that.
Yeah, at this point, Pentatonix, they're used to having cameras in their face
Sure.
at all times. And I think they've gotten really good at just kind of letting them just be, yeah, they're filmed all the time and they don't have any issue kind of just being fully themselves and not worrying about it and kind of ignoring it. I'm pretty good at ignoring it, but then sometimes I'll be like, oh, I'm being filmed. I need to like sit up straight, not look like a schlump.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, I mean, once you kind of get into the music, everything else kind of
Yeah.
fades and
Yeah.
really just focus.
Absolutely.
And then there's sometimes when it's like, oh, can you do a run through of this so I can get a good shot of this, stuff like that.
For
So
sure.
it's always great to have some of this process captured because it's so fleeting. It's like, all right, we do it, and then the album comes out, but having kind of these moments captured is always really nice.
100%. I couldn't agree more. Absolutely. So I would love to get into some of the follower questions that they sent in for us, and I'd love to hear your quick takes on some of these questions. So coming from Kelly.88, I guess it is. Any unique challenges with this album, for example, long distance or adding instruments? We've kind of addressed a couple of these things, but any that you hadn't mentioned so far that you found in this album?
Yeah, I think that the main challenge was just timing and just having so many collaborators and so many different time zones and language barriers sometimes.
Mm,
Just kind of
very
get,
interesting.
we're on WhatsApp with this person and we're texting this person and we're on email with this person and all their managers and everything. So that was like the biggest hurdle was just like timing and just making sure that everything was coordinated because most of our other albums it's like, oh, there's one or two collaborators and management is just dealing with that and it's easy. But this time every song pretty much has someone. So it was just a lot of details and it took a lot of time to like get everything over the finish line. So that
What
was
was the time frame for this from start to finish? What would you say that was the time frame?
well, I mean, we started chatting about the album in March, I believe, and then started recording in May. And then May through September, we were kind of on and off recording stuff. It was very spread out, all the different sessions. It's like, okay, this
Sure.
artist is in LA this day, and then Long recorded like September 9th. So that's someone asked like why are there only 10 songs on the physical album and 12 on the digital, and that's why. It's because he wasn't back in LA and he couldn't record until a certain day and the deadline for the pressing for the physical album was already over. So
Very interesting.
that's why we're like, all right, we're just gonna we want the physical album out. It's gonna be missing these two tracks, but they'll be out on the digital version.
Very interesting. So I'm curious. Another question that I received when I mentioned that we were going to be chatting today is the decisions of like vinyls and CDs versus digital. And like a lot of the world is going towards digital, but there are so many. The fan base of Pentatonix is very broad in age. So how do you guys decide? Do you have any involvement in decisions of the release, the distribution of the tracks?
Yeah, I'm not involved in those conversations, but I do know that's a mostly management and
Sure.
label. But yeah, I do know that because of Pentatonix's demographics and how wide the age range is, people still do buy Pentatonix albums. And also because it's a Christmas thing, it's a great thing to like give as a
Mm.
gift. A lot of people have CD players in their cars still, so it's something that people can pick up at Walmart, Target. So I think that's where a lot of those album sales come from. And then also Japan still has a really big physical album market.
Very interesting.